Hey everybody, thanks for listening to the Dumb Dad Podcast. My name is Kevin and I'm a dumb dad.
Hey everybody, my name's Evan and I'm a dumb dad.
Cheers.
Cheers, dummy. It's so nice to see you again. It's been almost 3 hours.
Yeah. Saw you a little bit earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
We had a week. We had a week together.
We had a weekend together.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I guess it was a weekend.
It was it was great. We tried to jump into fall 2 feet first into a pile of leaves. There's really not that many leaves here.
We were
it was hot.
so desperate. Are other parents like this where they're just... I guess not if you live in somewhere where they have, God, what's the word for it? Seasons. We don't have seasons. We've talked about this. Maybe on the very last podcast.
I think so, yeah.
That there's only 2 seasons here. But it is insane. It is, as of today. Today is October, the beginning of October.
Yeah.
And it was 94 degrees today in
what
October.
Are we doing? Why?
But yesterday.
Hold on, really quick.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
Why must we? Why, Kevin? Why?
Maybe burning all those car tires wasn't such a great idea. During those,
I had to get rid of them.
It was Sunday. Anyway, we went to a farm. We went to a lovely farm with our 2 families, and they had a blast. And it was the reason why I said we were so desperate is because, you know, we're trying on outfits that we haven't even a little bit flirted with recently. Like,
you guys were themed up.
We themed
pretty
up.
well.
We went with the fall because we were like, let's go for it. We looked at the weather.
Mm-hmm.
We were like, it's going to be around 75 when we leave.
Yeah.
That is creeping up uncomfortable. And a big thing about LA, Southern California rather, is it's a weird thing. The sun hitting you versus not hitting you is a whole different ball game. It's wild.
Being in direct sunlight is tough. Yeah, if it's 75 out, but you're just standing in direct sunlight, it's just different. I mean, there's no two ways about it. You're hot either way.
So you have to prepare that for your kids because your kids are going to be ridiculous.
Yeah, we kind of didn't. We kind of failed in that department there.
How did you fail?
Well, because when we left in the morning, it was probably like 60 or 65, I'd say, maybe closer to 60 or something. It was really nice. It was a little bit overcast.
Uh-huh.
Dare I say, it even sort of felt like fall.
It did feel like fall.
So,
if you didn't move quickly.
Yeah. Or consider where we were or what was about to happen.
If you
really kind of just...
If you turned and went, oh, my sunglasses, that's too fast, now you're sweating.
Exactly. But if you were in the right mindset, it just felt like a nice pumpkin spice latte.
So what did you fail at?
So we put my son in. Now, you know my boy. He runs a little warm.
The boy is...
Like, he doesn't wear pajamas.
He's a wild furnace, that kid.
Yeah, I mean, it's like he just wears a set of boxer briefs to bed like he's some drunk college kid.
Uh-huh.
And puts the sheet on for show. 5 minutes later, that thing's off, and he's already sweating. And this is year-round.
And he is in an unfortunate state for this.
Yeah. And so we dressed him for the occasion. It would then be fun to go to the farm, get your fall picture taken, pick a pumpkin or two, do a little bit of harvesting, and a great time. Put him in a pair of jeans and a long-sleeve Henley.
Oh, no.
Yeah, because the thing is, he looked the part, looked nice, but when it was creeping up about 69 degrees,
and he really looked the part of a field hand.
Yeah. And then he really looked like he was struggling, and he kept complaining about how hot he was. We're like, listen, just don't complain. If you complain, it makes it worse. So just...
Does he ask in those situations, like, can I take my shirt off?
Well, he has before.
Okay.
I will say this though, I missed it. I wasn't there, but apparently when we were all on the big slide,
there was a slide there. They took a John Deere tractor and they converted it into a slide. It was very fun.
That's like a hay baler. Whatever that thing is. They gutted it and threw a slide in the middle of it.
Great idea.
While we were at the big slide waiting, because the line was kind of long. It was my son. Credit to my son. He's pretty smart. He's like, there's a triple slide over there. It doesn't look like anybody's waiting in line. So literally everybody is over the big slide. He's over there just tearing down the slide over and over and over. Yeah. Everybody went down the big slide maybe 3 times, I think. Yeah. He went down that thing like 12, 13 times. He was cruising over there. But I guess my wife went over there thinking like, well, I'll go be with him. Yeah. He looks like he's having a good time, but still like he's over there by himself. So I'll go over there with him. And he came up to my wife and said, why don't you guys pack me a shorts and a T-shirt when we come to stuff like this when I get too hot? Oh. And then, so clearly that was a conversation.
Yeah. I believe that's a bit on the mouthy side.
Yes, it was. And hey, wow. I will say this. I'm not defending him. But I think if you're in his situation, just like anybody else is, and you're feeling a little bit too hot, you tend to get a little bit mouthy.
We all get a little grumpy and we all say stuff.
Say stuff you maybe regret about 30 seconds later when your mom's like, let's go sit down over here and have a chat. So
I've got a fun way for you to cool down until you realize what's happening. Then you're going to heat right back up.
You're going to get twice as warm. Your body's going to get real hot in a second. So it was fine. He survived the day, but
oh, that's good.
Yeah, that's good.
We had a similar experience lately, and this is our own failing as parents for my wife and I. Is my daughter? She doesn't give attitude, and now she does it she'll do it as a joke here and there. The problem is when she does it, it's funny every time, so we laugh. Every time because she doesn't mean it. She doesn't know what she's doing. One of her things that she does is where we'll just be like, hey, can you put your shoes on? We're going to go. And she just walks by and goes, wah. And it's funny. Like, we're just like, what is that?
Like, I could.
Yeah.
I choose not to.
So we laugh and she'll get her shoes on and it'll be fine. But she likes to.
Where'd she get that from? Is that from something? Wah.
No, because it was originally like, I think it started as like a wah, like pretending to cry, and then she just condensed in wah.
It's the weirdest way to say I heard. And like in the restaurant, heard. But firing table 38, heard.
My wife had to talk to her the other day because it's one of those things where now the joke isn't turning into a joke. Now you're using it for real, which was like the other day we were like, come. You left your toys out, come clean it up, something like that. And she was like, I'm in the bathroom, Mom, relax. Oh. And it was like, well, take your time and wash your hands because when you come out, we're going to be talking.
And you don't even know it.
Yeah.
You're just in there washing your hands.
So that's where we're at. We're at the age where our oldest are going to start
testing a little
mouthing off, and we'll see how it goes.
Test the boundaries a little bit, see what I can get away with.
And we're going to test our own boundaries to see how well we handle it.
That's right. Because I said so. Yep. Okay, hold on. Let's talk for a second. It was fun. Yep. You guys look good. Like I said, Kevin's family looked good. They were all in Buffalo check.
Yeah.
Buffalo check. You matched your son. You guys really looked like all should have had pumpkin spice lattes.
I would have taken one. Iced, of course.
All I will say, it was funny. You can't get around some things your kids will or will not let go of. Your daughter, it was like, you guys were all in like, you're pretty falled out. I mean, yes. I'll say, you're falled out. You're ready for the occasion. And then
jeans over the boots.
But it was cold in the morning, so your daughter was wearing like a satin unicorn jacket, which is a telltale sign you're not farm people.
Nope. Nope.
Under that, though, I think it was a dress or something. She looked great, but it was just, but you couldn't, sometimes it's like, but I'm bringing my favorite jacket, and there's nothing you can do about
underneath.
it. I'm not wearing the denim jacket. Corduroy's not for me.
No, underneath she had like a jumper or romper, whichever one doesn't have sleeves, and
that's right. Yeah.
It was like rainbow stars on it. It was just like we were all dressed fall.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you guys were all. She was kind of
like, do your thing. We get it.
You do your thing.
You don't understand.
I'm going to continue.
And this isn't for you. The outfit's not for you.
I'm going to continue living in Los Angeles if you don't mind.
Yeah. But our kids had a great time. It was a lot of fun. Yeah. And like with all great things, or actually, let me rewind real quick before I go on to what happened next on our week. On Thursday, when we picked up our 2 children from preschool, we walked by the teacher, our children's teacher, talking to a parent, and that parent said something along the lines of, Well, yeah, I just had the sniffles and a cough, and we just like walked by.
Oh, at preschool, yeah.
At preschool,
yeah.
And we walked by and both went, okay.
Uh-oh.
Picking our kids up after the fact, and then hearing that, it was like, okay, we're in for it this weekend.
You want to set the timer, or you want me to? Who has tomorrow morning in the pool?
So my son was battling something, but it hit him pretty hard Sunday night, yesterday, and then he stayed out of school today. And was, he slept. I was almost mad at him till like 8:30. He was up really late, but
it
like,
hit
that's
everybody.
Still insane. Like he's never been knocked out that hard.
Your daughter still hasn't had no signs of anything. No. She's the only one. In terms of our kids, I don't think any of the adults have been slapped in the face with it yet.
No.
Just a regular cold, I think, so far. But my daughter got hit. She was like Friday. Thursday, that lady was like, yeah, a little sniffly, so I'm here to get his stuff. He was like, oh, man.
Yeah.
She woke up the next morning sniffly. And then it really was like,
it
was like a 48-hour thing, but she wasn't. But she was over it after, like, mid-Saturday afternoon. She was good. I think she was pretty good. So hit your son well into Sunday. You guys ended up kind of having to leave early. He was like wrecked, man.
Well, yeah, he
was wrecked.
He was laid out.
And my son was sniffling, but then so he stayed out of school today too. So both of our boys
were out.
Yeah, second grader and preschooler were out of commission. Yeah, I mean, I had to drive. He had a school project due today. I was the dad that went and dropped it off. So I still acted as if I dropped him off at school, but I just dropped off his little first. This is his first kind of big school project.
Yeah.
It was like a book report of a book you've read before that you liked. You make like a little shoebox thing.
Yeah.
Sort of a diorama, but it was cool. It was like a reverse. You know, when we were kids, like you make the diorama, you do it inside of this thing. They like flipped it upside down, so you did it on the bottom of it, and then used the top of the box to make like a backboard. And so like, and that's how I noticed how everybody did. I think that was part of the instructions. Like all the kids when they were dropping him off today did it like that. But I was there to like flag the teacher down and go, this is my son's. He's not coming to school today. Yeah. He's sick. But then she handed me his homework. And then I felt like, oh man, no, I'm bringing it. I dropped your school project off, but I somehow got talked into bringing your homework to you.
You still have stuff to do. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's tough.
He was all right.
I was going to have a day with my son today.
Yeah.
It was going to be a fun day.
Yeah.
It wasn't a fun day.
You knew he was going to be out of I was going to say out of work. He's calling in sick to work because he wasn't feeling well. But at the same time, you're thinking like, I'll spend some time with him. We'll hang out with him. It'll be a day.
Yesterday,
make him feel better.
Yesterday wasn't doing well. So it was like, all right, we're going to hold him. We're going to keep him home from school.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go anywhere because he's sick. But we'll just have some fun at home. Play dinosaurs, watch plenty of shows because he's sick.
Yeah, I get it, man. They just went to preschool and we're just now all of a sudden, as much as we were like, we need some time to ourselves.
Yeah.
I've missed him a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
Just went from stay-at-home dad with kids home all the time to like a significant break in the middle of the day. It feels weird. So I get it. I get it.
But then the fates wouldn't allow it.
No. You're not allowed to have nice things, Kevin.
Last night, during like midday, early evening, I like looked. I look in the bathroom and I see. I remember my wife telling me on Saturday the bathtub's not draining, and I just took that as the bathtub is slow draining, really slow. We've never had a full stop. Like just ever, I don't think. Mm-hmm. Like even on your sinks when they fill out, they'll eventually drain. But you're like, still got to fix this problem. Anyway, she said that.
It's hard to remember. Like it's like one thing after another. You know, it's like pick out your fucking fall outfit, and the tub isn't draining. Yeah. Okay.
So I looked at it.
I got two problems I got to solve.
One is really messy, and one's a bathtub. So I look and sure enough, there's water in the bathtub with no drain in there, and I was like, oh no, this is a problem.
Water, go away.
So I know where the water access is, and so those who have listened to this podcast and know about me renovating our vanity in our bathroom. Here we go again.
It couldn't be more typical. Because you've had I don't want to say plumbing issues as though they were your fault, but in renovating your bathroom, doing the sink, doing some work in the kitchen earlier this year, I believe as well, that there was just a leak. Yeah, it's like plumbing seems to be the required skill set that you're learning on the fly all the time at this house.
I'm learning quite a bit.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's kind of a good thing. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
It's funny that it's themed out that it's like plumbing is definitely like the thing that you're like dealing with here.
Right. Which I'm happy about because I don't want it to be like electrical where there's like stuff arcing and I'm like, well, I'm not going to figure that out.
Yeah.
I'll just pay whoever.
Hopefully
whenever.
I fix this or my wife finds me with my shoes blown off my feet.
Yeah. just my silhouette in black kind of splashed on the wall and no body for some reason. Or just a perfect mound of dust.
And your teeth.
Yeah, and my teeth. And my eye's still there going, boing, boing, blinking. Somehow, but
his eyes Morse coding. We should have called him plumber, or should have called him like that.
So I have this like little dinky snake that I got, like it's metal, and so I went around the back of the house, and there's access to the back where the shower is to get like if you have a problem and within 4 feet, you can reach that problem. So I took apart the pipes. Well, first I plunged the. And then I went around and checked it out, and I was looking. I was like, looks like there might be a leak here.
You took the toilet plunger to the bathtub.
Yeah, but you take out the overflow drain and you plug it up,
so you can force air through.
So you can force air through.
I've heard that. I remember doing that. I'd like to know. You looked that up?
Yeah.
I remember thinking something about that in the sink or something. And people like you'll explode the thing if you do because you're creating so much pressure.
Yeah.
That it could be the wrong move.
Yeah, I looked it up and they said it could. I didn't do it much because of that. I was like, I don't want to make it bigger. This is just a clog.
Sure.
So I run to the hardware store and. I ran into just the happiest, and I was like, telling my wife, I was like, I gotta run out. I'm gonna go get a better snake for this.
I gotta go.
I got a cheap one. I'm gonna get a little better one.
Do something.
She's like, okay. So I'm just going to get a snake. I'll be right back. And I go to the hardware store. I run into like just the happiest like young man who's just like, hey man, do you need help with something?
Is this big box or this is or local?
Big box. Local's closed. It was Sunday after 5.
Yeah.
Everywhere
no,
closed.
You're not. Yeah.
Kids get sick and things go wrong and bodies get broken on Sundays after 5.
That's why they put football on all day long. It's like, listen.
Just sit down.
If you just sit down.
Everyone just sit down and
Everybody just sit down, shut up. Otherwise, things are going to go wrong.
Don't use the toilet too much.
Let's just have the only thing that goes wrong today, your fantasy lineup. How about that? Exactly. All right? And your house will still run. And everybody will be safe.
So I was talking to him, and he was just like, "What's up, man? Can I help you with something?" I was like, "Yeah, look, I've got this one because I had one on the shelf. I was like, I've got this snake. It's kind of garbage. I didn't realize it was only $10 when I bought it. There's one here for $20. This seems like a better one." And then he's like, "Yeah, man." He was so jazzed up. He was so psyched. He's like, "Yeah, man. What's cool about this? You snake it in, then you lock it, and then you just crank that sucker and pull out whatever's the problem." And I was like, I like you. And then I was like, okay, cool.
I like you. Have you ever seen what comes out of a drain?
Yeah. Yeah. It's never fun. It's never exciting. So I show him a picture of like the access, the shower access from the outside. Sure. And I was like, I plunged it a little bit. The pipes are a little wet. I'm assuming that's from plunging it and some of it overflowed. And he's like, yeah, for sure. I was like, and I went, oh, okay, good. I thought you were going to tell me. I shouldn't have said this. I said, oh, good. I thought you were going to tell me I need to replace the pipes. And he goes, oh, yeah, you definitely do. Look at those things, man. They're corroded. You got to get rid of all of them. I was like,
I don't know if I can trust you anymore. I don't
know if I can trust him because he's just a chipper young man happy about hair clogs. And around the corner comes an elderly man wearing, one of the, what are they, vests.
Yeah.
And an employee there.
But he's had his for 15 years.
That's the problem. This guy is retired but bored, so he's working here 2 days a week just to pass the time.
He's pulled a couple yards of hair in his day.
Yeah. So the kid sees him and he's like, hey, yeah, look at this picture. I'm right? He's sitting. He's like, yeah, you need a whole new setup. And he just like walks away.
In fact, you should move.
I can't wait. The house is going to blow. I want to get to this level of elderly confidence that he just looks at it and he goes, yeah, you need all new materials, and walks away. He didn't say anything, but I knew I had to follow him. He didn't tell me to follow me.
And he knew.
There was no hand gesture. There was no eyes. And
no, come on.
His sentence kind of ended a thought. It was the end of a thought. Yeah, you need all new stuff. And he walked away, and I followed him.
Not a whistle? Not like he jangled his keys a little bit?
And he didn't look over his shoulder to see
if I was
following.
He didn't tip his cap to you?
And
because you know why? What does he care? If you're gonna solve your problem, you follow him. If not, what does he care?
He's gonna do that old man thing where he's gonna turn around to an empty aisle, and then he's gonna look for some reason over his shoulder again, as if I came the other way, and then he's gonna do the shrug his shoulders, slap his legs, and go back to lunch or wherever he was headed. But sure enough, I'm following him, and he just walks over, grabs a set of pipes, grabs like a coupling, and he was like, you're going to need this, hands it to me, and he goes, and you'll be all set. You got plumber's putty? And I was like, yep. He's like, all right, you'll be fine. And just like walked away.
Or see you tomorrow when you break one of these. Okay, sorry. I'll be back.
So I tried to fix this problem overnight. I tried to fix it that night. I got home, sun's going down.
In fact, you probably even convinced yourself you were going to do it.
I was pretty close. I was really close. I had camping lamps out. I had a headlamp on.
On the side of your house?
Yeah.
Just post it up on the side of your house with
honestly,
lights.
Here's the worst part. We have really bad mosquitoes. So I was wearing like a black Bruins hoodie like over my head. Like I had like the hoodie up and had the like.
UCLA or Boston?
Boston.
Okay.
And I mean, I'm just melting, but it's either that or get eaten by mosquitoes. This is a lose-lose. I'd rather sweat than be itchy.
You're melting out there like a little boy at the
Here's
farm
the thing.
on a fall afternoon.
I'm melting, and unless I fix this problem, I can't shower.
You can't shower it off.
I can't fix it.
I told you, man. Hey, there's nothing like a good old hose off in the yard.
So, I'll get to it. So, I mean, I get together all the things. I'm taking apart pipes, which I feel very confident in from doing the vanity in my bathroom.
Plus the old guy told you.
My wife is now like, just like, you said you were going for a snake. Why are pipes coming out? And I'm not, I'm doing like, I'm such a dumb dad / husband. I'm not communicating anything to her. I'm just because I'm just trying to keep my head down and get this done as fast as possible. I could be like checking in.
Yeah.
And she's looking after the kids. It's not a work day, and so she's like, I think she took them to the craft store and stuff. She kept them busy. And I'm just like toiling away. Did get the clog out. It was not something to be jazzed about. I'll be going back and telling the guy that. Hey, I got it. Wasn't as exciting as you said.
Hey, I pulled it out of there. I think it was also from some of the people that lived here before.
I pulled it out. Thank you. I need to talk to my children about chewing tobacco, apparently. Because I don't know what I pulled out of there. It was a nightmare.
A smorgasbord of I don't even know what. Let's put it that way.
So I'm taking pipes apart. And I get,
How far into this sitcom are you?
How far in?
Well, it's like the husband's going to fix the problem. I'm just running to the hardware store to grab something really quick. It's in the next day. How far into this episode are we? Whereas the audience laughed out loud a few times. And how many times have you been asked, do we need to call a plumber? Or
wife had mentioned it. Had been mentioned a few times. I feel like I'm doing one of our pressers.
Yeah.
We thought about bringing in a relief plumber. But we
thought we had the tools that we needed to get through, to see through the end of it.
I thought I was throwing a perfect game. I hadn't realized that I had let a couple hits get through.
The miscommunication in the team played a large role. Good Lord.
So, yeah, I mean, we're at that point where she's like, do we need to call a plumber?
Uh-huh.
And I'm genuinely saying no for 2 reasons. Probably 3, third being pride. We'll just get that out of the way.
That's an expense you don't want to lose.
So the first one is, I know what the problem is, and this is exactly what I did in my vanity. Mm-hmm. I'm taking these pipes out. I'm replacing them. I know how to do all of that. I know how to work with the plumber's putty. I've done all this stuff. I'm confident in what needs to be done. And then the second one is, and this is much less than the first one. So the first one is like, I know I don't need a plumber. We can get one, and maybe he'll be faster, of course. But the second one is also...
But he'll charge you an arm and a leg, Kevin. He'll charge you.
Well, speaking of working on the toilets, that's where the money's going. Right down there. Right down the drain. And the second reason is, and this is less so, but there's a nugget of truth where this is my house. I want to know how to do this stuff. Like, I want to be able to fix this stuff. I'm interested in doing that stuff.
I am 100% aligned with you on that.
Okay.
I'm giving you a hard time.
That's why I'm giving you a hard time. Dumb Dad podcast, because it's just 2 idiots agreeing with each other. 2 idiots agreeing with each
other. Yeah, I'm giving you a hard time because, I mean, I was over here today looking at it, and I still thought you were theoretically making the right decision because here's the thing. I love learning something new like that.
Uh-huh.
Now, here's where I think the question from the wife comes in, or your partner, whoever it is, that's like, listen, I know you're having a good time. We need the bathroom. We need the bathtub to drain.
They smell terrible.
Okay, yeah. So there's like there's a line there.
I did get the bathtub to drain, by the way. Everybody, I bailed it out. I was smart about it.
Yeah, and but I think that's part of it. I think that I totally get that ownership of your home.
Yeah,
and at the same time, it's an opportunity to learn a little something. If you can fix it yourself, there's definitely a sense of pride in that. But I think that's what it is, right? There's a line somewhere, which is like, how much time and or money am I wasting versus how much of an exploration, how far down the rabbit hole do I need to go before I need to admit to myself
I don't know
and the wife that I've gone too far and spent too much money, and now I need to spend more money to get the point. It sounds like the line is somewhere in the realm of communication.
It's communication. It didn't spend a lot of money on this one. The vanity was an incredible expense.
Yeah.
A lot of trips, a lot of money.
No, the short story is like from what you showed me is like the guy under his recommendation is like, you need a whole new setup. Well, the new setup just fits a little differently, so you got to cut part of a pipe to make it fit.
I had to cut a pipe, which was the hardest part of us. But here's a fun fact I'll tell you real quick. When the guy handed me a coupling, which those who don't know, it's like a rubber cylinder with a hole on each end, and it's got those like tightening brackets that you screw, and it just gets tighter with the metal threads.
Essentially, if you put two tubes or 2 pipes or whatever the case that are exactly the same diameter up against each other, how do you hold them in place?
And so just like tighten a coupler, that, and now it's like all one pipe. So he gave me a coupling that had 2 different sizes. One end was 1.5 inches, and one was like 2 inches. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, cool, whatever. So when I was going to do this, I was looking at him last night, and I was like, I got to cut this pipe, but also this pipe's the same size as the new pipes. So this coupling is wrong. It's not going to fit. So today.
But he was old. So I really don't see how he could be wrong.
Doesn't make sense. So I go to the hardware store. I get the new coupling that's the same size. And then I get a saw for cutting metal because I have this small hole. So you can't use... Maybe you can. And if there's a plumber listening to this podcast, or if somebody's partner is a plumber... Tell me I'm wrong. I'll be happy to know about this device, because nobody was instructing me, being like, no, this will get you in tight corners. Like everyone at both hardware stores I went to yesterday and today were like, yeah, you probably got to use like your hands.
You basically need like a tiny little hacksaw.
A little hacksaw with your hand. I'm
assuming, I mean, everybody's different probably. Their place is different, but like you're in your situation, you pull a little board off the wall on the outside, and then
a 1x1 board or a 2x1 board or something.
Yeah, and you have about a 1 cubic foot of space to operate in.
Yeah.
But to gain leverage cutting a metal pipe, which is not easy to do. It's like, I mean, it couldn't be the most tedious.
It's so tedious.
I mean, we sat out there for how long today going like, okay.
You left.
Are we doing this? But it was like, is this the answer? Because it was like.
I don't know.
I know. But because you're going, the simple way to explain this is I need to cut an inch of this off and everything's going to fit and it'll be together.
I need to cut this pipe off because it's a little too high. It's hitting the new drain. If I cut this down, all the pieces will fit. And my wife even said that. She goes, how sure are you? I was like, you could see it. I hate saying this, but I am 100% confident.
Yeah. I realize how much of my foot. Can you understand me with my foot in my mouth already?
But I'm telling you, if I get this pipe cut, the rest of the job will be done in 10 minutes.
But exactly. But what it took to get to that point.
Can I tell you?
It's like when you look at those. I'm going to guess. When you look at those recipes, it's like it tells you how much prep and how much cook time.
Oh, well,
your cook time is 10 minutes.
The food,
sure, like
what are they called?
The like pre-prepared meals that
you get delivered to your house and you make them, and it's like it says prep 25 total 45 for me just to cut all of the ingredients, and now we're starting and it's 9 p.m. I'm a decent cook, but those meal prep things, some of the side work to get started.
Yeah, they're
pretty wild.
Yeah, they're overestimating the shortness of time. How long did it take you? 2.5 hours?
We started, so you came with me to the hardware store. We came back, we started hacking away at this thing.
Probably about 10.
And you left, we'll say 10. You left at around 11:30-ish to go pick up your daughter.
Mm-hmm.
I worked out there for a little while longer.
Yeah.
I started to feel like I was going to pass out.
I was just going to say, when you woke up after having passed out, what time was it?
I was in really bad shape at one point, and I was like, I realized I hadn't eaten a single thing all day.
No, there's no time for something like that.
So I went inside. I washed my hands.
You weren't full on your pride yet? How much of that have you swallowed?
I just swallowed food and cried. I ate food. I sat down for like 10 minutes. Went back out there. Because I was like, this has got to get done. Like, you can't hang around.
Yeah.
I'm back, and I'm telling you guys, it's a saw as long as your hand. Like, the blade is as long as your hand.
All it is a blade, and it's a holder for the blade. I mean, it's really nothing other than that.
You can go back and forth 3 inches. That's it.
3 inches of travel.
Before you're hitting a different pipe or wood. So it's just like thunk, 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 with occasional grinding in between of metal. Is awful.
Remember in Austin Powers when he goes to turn around in the hallway in that little cart and he does like a 83-point turn?
Yep.
Yeah, except for if he was told you got to go around 3 times.
Yep.
That's like what it looked like it was going on. Just
do you know what the hardest part of this is?
Bit by bit, tiny piece by tiny piece.
Do you know when you're like cutting down like say a small tree or something and you get to the end?
Well, I only cut down red oaks, but yeah, sure, go on.
Yeah. I just cut down
my lumberjack.
Nobody's looking.
Buffalo check shirt.
Because I want to feel the season.
It's harder to cut with. I got a pumpkin slice latte in one hand and my axe in the other.
So, you know when you're doing that and then you get into the end and you can kind of just like kick over the tree and it kind of splinters off at the end.
Sure.
You can't do that with a metal pipe.
Well, especially when you don't have any leverage
when you want to. But no, like at one point it was starting to give and like that temptation is so real. But you realize if you do that, you're going to warp the pipe and the coupling's not going to fit on. So you have to resist that urge. So anyway, I finally get this thing off. My arm is on. My arms, because I was able to alternate at least, is on fire.
Did you immediately start crying?
No. I wanted to make sure I caught it, though, because I didn't want it to fall down. I could reach down there.
I can't believe you didn't drop anything down there. I tried it for a little bit. I was assisting in the saw cutting, and I thought, man, if I drop this thing down here, that means Kevin has to go under his house.
No, when I started the project, I pushed the new drain after I'd already unscrewed it. I went in the house and pushed it down like an idiot, and it just went, I go,
clunk.
I was like, well, now I get to find out if I can reach under the house from that access point or not. Because it's an old pipe. If I can't, it just lives there now.
Yeah, exactly.
I could. So anyway, so I cut the thing off. I get it. I was like, oh my God, it's done. That's amazing. And then I go inside the house and I was like, I did it. I got it. I gotta go just assemble the pipes. And then we're done. So I assemble the pipes. My wife helps me test the water. I haven't had my phone this whole time, and we're good. Man, I did it. Like I said.
Yeah,
it worked. It worked.
It worked.
And I went inside, and I was like, oh, sweet. And like I said, it was very fast, that last part. And I went inside, and my wife goes, great. Now go pick up your daughter from school. And I was like, what? It was 2:30.
Oof.
I was from 10 to 2:30 with a 1:45 to an hour lunch break. I was just cutting this small pipe. My arms are in so much pain right now.
Again, it's one of those things, like, I think it's just a little bit of where I said there's a line there, right? Understandably, you found that line, and the line was simply, the only way to do this is to painstakingly, tediously cut this pipe, and everything is going to go fine after that. Yep. And that's why we sat outside there for a little bit going, before we commit to doing this, because once you cut that pipe and you make it through, once you break the walls of the pipe, you're doing nothing other than cutting the pipe.
Yeah.
So we even started it for a little bit and thought, okay, let's just back off for a second. Is this the only way to do this? Is this the smartest way to do this?
Oh, still don't know.
Still don't know. But it felt like I don't really see how anything other than calling a plumber, which still didn't really feel like was an option, not out of pride or anything, but the problem is right there.
Here's the problem.
It's just whether or not you're just going to have to sit there and do it. And sometimes that's what it is. You just have to sit there and do it.
If I call the plumber and he comes out, looks at the problem, goes to his truck, brings out a little saw, and then he's just sitting out there, I'm going to be standing over his shoulder with a cup of coffee, watching him hack away, going, I could have fucking done that.
I could have done that. And this is $50 an hour. Could you go a little faster? He's like, I got 3 inches of travel here, pal.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you want to sit in here and do it?
Actually, I do.
You fixed it. You solved the problem, and then you have a good sense of pride, a renewed sense of pride, because you were able to take care of something and solve something in your house. And again, it really is the trope, the stereotypical trope, the sitcom that we've all seen before 1,000 times. That the stubborn husband won't give in and just thinks he's going to fix it, and then it's worse, but he fixed it.
It wasn't worse.
It wasn't worse.
But it didn't need that. I don't know. I still don't know that any of that needed to happen outside of the snake.
Let me ask you one more question about it, and we'll move on.
Because it's like one of those upsell things of like, I was just like, I just need a snake. My drain is clogged. It's clogged. It's not leaking. Mm-hmm. Can I get a snake, please? And they're like, sure, replace all your pipes. And I just went, okay.
Yes, sir.
No, it's a clog. I should have just unclogged it.
And reassembled. That was, we were thinking like that could be part of it, but then you're like, well, I'm already here.
I was already there.
I'm already here. It's already disassembled because I had to get here to snake it. I might as well put it back together with parts that aren't 50 years old.
It was really old.
One more question, then we'll move on, because it is part of when you decide to tackle something like this in your household. How many trips did it take you to go back and forth from the hardware store? Because I know it wasn't one.
It was just 2.
2.
It was just...
That's pretty good.
It was just going there initially to get a snake and then finding out I got a lot more equipment. And then... Oh, no, it wasn't. It was 3.
It was 3, yeah. I was going to say, 2 is... I think I'll take 2.
It went yesterday, and then I went this morning, and somebody at that hardware store gave me the wrong saw.
Yeah.
And then
that tiny little thing
I filed down that.
That was like a craft saw.
It was like a craft saw. I filed that down to nothing almost instantly. So I went and I was like, oh, well, I probably just need sharper blades. So I went to a different hardware store, and the guy was like, that is for making your chess pieces. What are you doing?
Yeah, that's for balsa wood. What are we talking about here?
So he was like,
well, we're trying to cut this metal pipe. And that's when he was like, okay.
Yeah. So he gave me the right thing, and it was great, and he was right, and thank you very much.
That's great. My dumb dad moment is much shorter.
Sure.
But it's quite thematic.
Okay.
I don't mean that in a mean way. I'm just saying it's just short and to the point, but stays on the theme of me trying just to go on a walk through my neighborhood.
No.
In the morning to stay healthy and not have any fecal matter involved in the situation.
But this isn't a previous podcast to understand at all what Evan is talking about. But if you're just joining us for the first time, Evan went on a long walk once and in the morning and he went to the bathroom outside.
I had to relieve myself. I did it in the street. It's very bridesmaid style. It was very embarrassing, but
was it food poisoning?
I don't think so.
Oh, that's a shame.
I think it was just a betrayal.
That's actually a shame.
Of the human body.
Okay, so what happened?
Today I set off down the block thinking I'm well past it and we are moving on in our lives and we're just going for a nice healthy walk in the morning to get my mind right and get prepared for the day. And about 50 yards from my house, a bird just pooped all over my arm.
Oh, okay.
Out of the sky. Just took a dump on me.
Do you think that bird witnessed what you had done weeks prior?
I can only imagine so, yeah.
Here I am trying to teach my kids to fly. And this animal is screaming into the streets.
He's holding it with a blue face flying around going, I got to find a brand new car. Wait a second. See that guy?
They spend all day mumbling with their coffees about roads and bridges, and then I just see them defecate on them.
It's like that guy right there. Watch this. I'm going to dive bomb him right here. Nailed me.
Did you keep walking?
Yeah. I found a leaf and scraped it off.
Good job.
Moved on.
Good for you.
But I was like, I mean, come on, really? I'm just trying to walk around the neighborhood, to be honest.
Oh God, you just don't have any luck on those walks.
I don't know what could happen tomorrow? I have no idea. Stay tuned next week.
Don't feel like you have to tell us.
I can't get past it. I don't know what to do. I got to get out there. It's cool. It's cool in the morning. I don't want to go in the afternoon. It's so hot.
I'm pretty sure you own a treadmill.
Well, there's much like you, I have a lot of side projects going on, and that thing is not accessible at the moment.
Okay. Just fold the laundry.
Unfortunately, it's in the garage, which is a great space to have it, but things are being pushed around because I'm sort of restoring this like little bar top thing that I found.
Someday
taking a walk inside takes a back seat. No pun intended.
Fair enough. Oh.
Sorry. I'm so sorry.
Well, if anybody has any notes for me on my plumbing capabilities or
my plumbing capabilities going up for a walk. Sorry, I can't stop. I'm sorry.
That's the problem, is that you can't stop. The problem has always been that you can't stop.
Correct.
And it's upsetting.
Correct.
But if you guys have your own stories, not like the out for a walk ones, but other ones.
Child rearing stories.
Yes. Real dumb dad stuff.
Yeah, real dumb
Especially
dad
the dumb dad stuff. Or mom's like, do you have one out there that's like similar? Do you have the stubbornness that us dumb dads have of just like, should I have called the plumber? Again, I knew what I had to do, but a plumber is more expensive but more convenient. Yeah, what should I have done? What
we try to do here, and our favorite thing here at the the Dumb Dad Project, is just do your best. Do your best. Put yourself out there. Try to learn something new. And then when you screw it up, well, let's talk about it.
Yeah, it's the hard part is I don't know if that was my best.
Well, it was your best today. Let's put it that way.
Did my best today. But you guys can write into us. You can email us, dumbdadpod@gmail.com, or you can DM us at dumbdadpod on Instagram, which is also our handles on TikTok and Twitter. We are the Dumb Dads on YouTube. If you guys want to watch this podcast, please subscribe if you do. Thank you guys very much for listening. Thanks to Verdue for all of the beats. And thanks, as always, to my lovely wife, Annie, for editing this podcast. Evan, do you have a joke?
No, I think I told enough dumb pun jokes throughout this podcast. I feel at the risk of losing subscribers. I might just not, I maybe don't want to let another one slide out there.
Evan really shit on that last segment. There we go. Okay, bye. Welcome to the world, little one. Welcome to life.
How do I stop this?